Hello, I'm Bethany from Bethany Wellness. Join me for this Rooting Down yoga class. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this Rooting Down yoga class, another spring themed class. So, spring is in the air. So, last week we talked about seeds, planting seeds. This week, let's talk about rooting down. Only thing you'll need for this class is a mat. So, let's begin lying down in Shavasana. And you choose if you'd like to lay down with legs stretched out or legs bent, whatever's comfortable in your body today. And bring the palms down to face your mat so that they're connecting to the mat. Begin to take some nice deep breaths in and out through your nose. Settling into this place. And let your belly be soft. Let it rise and fall with each breath. And in our last spring-themed class, we talked about planting seeds. And you selected 2 to 3 seeds that you would like to plant in your heart for this season. We talked about things like love or gratitude or change, something that you wanted to invite in your life this season of change, maybe this spring season. So next, let's talk about growing roots. So rooting down in our yoga practice, but also growing roots for the seeds that we want to plant within ourselves. You think about growing roots. Roots help make the plant stronger, and they help with new growth as well. They also draw up the nutrients to feed the plant. So think about that for you, connecting and drawing some roots for the seeds you'd like to plant. So as you're lying on your mat, I'd like you to just really hone in and notice. Imagine you have a magnifying glass and you're really specifically noticing the contact that your body makes with the ground. So starting with your head, notice where your head is touching the ground and just tune into that. Extra magnifying, just really notice. And then scanning down through your neck and your shoulders, maybe the backs of your arms. You're hyper aware of the contact your body makes with the ground. Scanning now through your back, through your hips and glutes, maybe the backs of your legs if you chose to have your legs stretched out, and then through your feet. And visualize through all of these contacts that you're making with the ground that you are growing roots down into the earth. Roots that will help make you stronger, roots that help provide nutrients, roots that help your seeds grow. What roots could you establish in your own life that help support the growth of your seeds? So maybe one of your seeds you've selected would be gratitude. That's maybe one that resonates with you. To grow roots in gratitude would be to practice gratitude daily, whether it's by keeping a gratitude journal or choosing the someone, something, and within yourself, just those 3 things every day. Practicing what you're grateful for someone, for something inside yourself. So think about for you in this moment what roots would help you grow your seeds. Slowly stretch your legs out if you didn't have them stretched out already. Reach your arms overhead. Overall stretch. You can point your toes, you can even interlace fingers, you can just connect fingers or grab onto the fingers with the opposite hand. Then exhale, come into starfish. So bring your feet to the wide edges of the mat. Bring your arms overhead to the wide corners, creating an X with your body. So thinking about the shape of a starfish. And then let's flex the toes. So we're flexing the toes so that the heels press away. The toes come up towards the ceiling. Actively reach your fingers. And then from here, actively engage the muscles in your legs, flexing through the quads, and engage your arms. Your fingers are actively reaching. Everything is engaged. Then exhale, slowly soften. Let the feet kind of just fall out to the side. Let your hands be soft. Maybe your fingers curl in a little bit towards the palms. And again, activate your starfish. Flex the toes. Toes come up towards the sky. Activate the fingers, reaching the fingertips. Active quads. We're flexing through the muscles. One more breath. Take a deep breath in. Then exhale with a sigh as you soften. Very good. Then bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat. Slowly hug knees in. So wrapping your arms around your shins, behind your thighs. Exhale as you curl up into a little ball. Draw your forehead towards your knees. They may not connect, but you're still curling up into a little ball or a little seed. And exhale, you can release your head and neck back down. And gently rock a little bit from side to side. So even though we're a little seed, we're bringing a little movement here. Maybe we're burrowing a little hole into the earth before we grow our roots. And begin to rock forward and back, coming up to sitting, or you can rock to your side and then come up to sitting. Good. And then come into a seated pose. Cross-legged or butterfly is fine. Wiggle a little bit side to side, shimmy just to feel your sits bones. So the sits bones are rooting down. So just really notice connection between the right and left sits bone. And then feel lengthened through the crown of your head. So we're lengthening up. The spine is lifting a little, but rooting down through the sits bones. So imagine here in this pose, growing the roots right underneath your sits bones. There's two of them, the right and left sits bone. So growing the roots down from each one. Couple breaths here, connecting to your breath in your seated pose. And bring your hands down by your sides. Tripod your fingers. Shoulders are still relaxed away from your ears. And just walk the fingertips out a little bit. Just imagine growing roots from each fingertip here. Then take your gaze forward and slowly release left ear towards left shoulder. Connect back to center. Other side. Slowly release the right ear to the right shoulder. Good. Then connect back to center. On an inhale, lift your right arm high, straight up to the sky. Lift and lengthen first, then exhale as you side bend. So walking your left hand out a little bit to take your side bend. Normally I say look up to the ceiling in your side bend. This time, look down to your hand that is rooting you into the mat. Imagine those roots once again growing. And inhale, lift and lengthen back up, and then exhale, release down. Other side, inhale, lift the left arm high, lift and lengthen first, then exhale as you side bend, walking your right hand out a little bit. Take your gaze to the right hand. Notice the sits bones. We're still rooting down through both of them. If one of them is lifted up, just come in a little bit from your side bend. Then inhale, lift and lengthen up. and release down. Give a little shake. Good. Let's come into a little bit of a tabletop on the wide edges of your mat. So we're going to bring the left foot out. So you want to have your foot on the mat as you walk it out, preparing for gate pose. So foot is planted down, toes are forward. You'll feel a little bit of perhaps a stretch or even a pull on the lateral side of your ankle. If that's too intense, you can walk the toes at a diagonal a little bit more if that helps. From here, bring hands to hips and just stay here. Just explore if this is a comfortable gate pose for you. Still getting wonderful benefits of the inner opening here of the inner thigh, rooting down through the foot. Another option is to lift and lengthen high, gaze up. And exhale, side bend. That's the last option if you'd like to take that option. Just explore, decide what's comfortable. Gazing up towards the inner arm, towards the ceiling. So we're lifting and lengthening through the right fingers. Our fingers are active. Our left foot is really rooting down, so it should really have a good contact with the mat. Imagine growing the roots from that foot, connecting to the earth. Good. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release down. Bring that foot in. Switch sides. This time the right foot connects out. Plant the right foot down. Decide what's comfortable first before you choose to bring hands to hips. So you have to explore first to decide if that's a stable pose for you. Hands to hips can be your first option. Another option is to rise the arms high and gaze up. If you're wanting to explore that last and final option, exhale as you side bend, bringing your right hand to your right leg. Still actively reaching the fingers, so we're bringing that length through the left arm, through the left side body. Imagining those roots connecting down through your foot. Good. Then inhale, rise both arms up. Exhale, release, coming into tabletop. And this time you can turn on your mat so that you're at the head of your mat or your feet are towards the foot of your mat. Let's go through a little bit of cow-cat. Inhale as you soften the belly down, gaze up for cow pose. Exhale as you tuck and round into cat. Gaze back. And imagine here roots connecting from your palms. So think about every time we're connecting to the earth, really visualize rooting down. One more cow, one more cat. Then exhale, child's pose. Sink hips to heels. Knees can be drawn wide if that feels better, or you can keep them together. Forehead rests down. Feeling here like a little seed, really. We're just kind of curled up in a little ball. Think about the seed is covered with soil and it's nurtured by the soil. It's beginning to grow its roots deeper and deeper, preparing for growth, providing the strength for the growth, and drawing up nutrients. And in this nourishing, gentle yoga practice today, drawing up for yourself, for your seeds. And slowly rise up into table, and then come to sitting down on the long part of your mat. So stretch your legs out, sitting a little tall here towards the front of your sits bones. Option one would be to cross the right foot outside of your left thigh and hug in. So you can just hug here, just keeping the arms connecting to that right leg. Or the second option would be to connect left heel to right sits bone or right glute, and then bring the right foot outside of that left thigh and hug in. So either variation, you're kind of tangled up a little bit, which is what roots do, right? I just repotted one of my plants and the roots were all tangled up inside themselves. So think about here, sometimes the root structure can be kind of messy. So we're embracing that today with this root practice. Just keep that leg hugged in. You'll notice a nice stretch through the right glutes. Rooting down mostly through the left sits bone, maybe a little bit through the right. And unwind from the pose. Stretch both legs out. Give them a little shimmy and shake with a breath. And then switching sides. So if you chose the first variation, the right leg is stretched out, the left leg will be hugged in, and the left foot is outside of your right thigh. That's the first variation. Second variation, right heel connects to left glute. And then the left foot comes outside, and you hug in the left leg. Still staying lifted and lengthened here, so we're not completely just rounding into that hugged in leg. We're lifting tall through the spine. And we're keeping the leg hugged in. Thinking of everything getting kind of tangled, embracing that. Still rooting down through the right sits bone. Stay with your breath. Your breath helps you stay in the present moment. It anchors you into this moment. And of course, it draws you into calm. Good. Then unwind from your pose. Give your legs a little shimmy. And then come to lying down. Hug your knees in. Breath in. A sigh as you exhale. Give your toes and feet just a little attention through movement. And for spinal twist, bring your feet to the mat. Bring your arms out to a T. If you like a deeper twist, bring the feet really close together and the knees. If you like more gentle, have the feet drawn wide and the knees wide. Inhale first, then exhale, legs fall to the left. Nice full breaths here, allowing saturation through the torso, bringing out the spine, giving a little squeeze and a little hug on those belly organs. Inhale back to center, exhale, release legs to the right, gaze up or to the left. Inhale, legs to center, hug them in one final time, and curl up into that little root ball, drawing forehead towards knees. Good. Then release down. Final surrender, Shavasana. Stretch the legs down, or you can have the knees bent if that's more comfortable. Take a few breaths here. Feel free to close your eyes. And come back to what seeds you planted in your last practice with us, where we talked about planting seeds. And today, keep those seeds in mind as you think about growing roots to support those seeds. Growing roots takes time. It takes attention to detail, like giving the right nutrients and the right amount of water and light. So just think about in your life, dedicating some specific energy and effort and time to growing your seeds. Take a couple more nice full breaths in through your nose and a sigh as you exhale. And take a nice breath in, bringing some movement and awareness back. Bend your fingers, wiggle them, wiggle your toes. You can bend the wrists and ankles. And then slowly roll to one side. Spend a few breaths on that side. Think about drawing in nourishment, nutrients to help support the growth of your seeds. And slowly rise up. to a seated position. Thank you so much. It was my pleasure to guide you through this yoga practice today, focused on roots. I hope you have a blessed day. Well, and namaste. The teacher in me honors the teacher in you. Namaste. Be well.